What's up, guys, and welcome to season 2 of Your Friend in the Head. You can tell, Jesus, that the bitch is fucking back and she is here to stay. Guys, I think I filmed this intro maybe like 2-3 times because I was so nervous to get back into the group chat. And I think for me, for season 1, it was one of the biggest milestones that I have done in such a long time because I proved to myself that I could be consistent as fuck for 100 days straight of podcasting. Now, you might be new here, or maybe this is like you're an OG. Maybe you've already listened to season 1 twice. Like, I would love to know. Please let me know because that always makes me so excited when you guys are like telling me where you're at in the journey. But wherever you're at the journey, I recently did a stint of 100 days straight of a podcast. Now, for me, that was proving to myself that I could be a consistent motherfucker. And I think for me, particularly, I have somewhat been a little flaky with some of my goals. Like, I'm not even going to diminish for a second. I am a hustler. I work my ass off, but working towards specific targets and specific goals and measurable targets and goals has never been my strength in life. And I was like, no. Like, you need to be the type of person that when you commit to goals, you follow through on those goals no matter what. And so season 1 for me was very much about proving that no matter what was happening in my life, no matter how stressed I was, no matter how overwhelmed, that I could follow through on the things that I said I was going to do. Yeah? And I am not going to diminish for a second that doing 100 days straight of podcasting, when you are new into the podcast world, when you are running an app, when you have hundreds of clients, when you have so many commitments and everything feels like on fire, that it's not going to be a challenge. But it was one of the most rewarding things that I have done in such a fucking long time. So I did that, knocked that out of the ballpark, loved the process, loved creating for this channel, became my favorite channel. I went straight into doing a 80-day, 60-day, it's like way past 60-day now, unbreakable challenge to get my body into the best shape that it's ever been physically, also just in terms of body recomposition. We ticked that target off. And so like, I feel for me now, there's just nothing. Anything is possible as far as I'm concerned, which is the best fucking way to be. So for anyone out there that is feeling that they cannot achieve specific measurable goals and they always feel like, I keep on tapping out, I never follow through on it. Girl, I'm telling you right now, make it that there is an option of no other option. Make sure you have some sort of level of accountability, whether that's you build a social media community page like I have, whether it is that you do a bet with your partner. I have once in the past for making sure that I hit the target of social media. I have done a mini sprint before. I wanted to hit I think it was like 30K followers, and I had to post every single day towards getting towards that goal until I hit 30,000 followers. And that was an absolute slog too. But the bet my partner was that if I didn't commit to it and I didn't post, then I had to buy the book of this girl that I absolutely fucking despise because she's just an absolute knob shine. Yeah, you can say that about people. And I would have to buy her cookbook and she would have to see my name. And there's no way. There's absolutely no way. So make sure you've got accountability, set a goal, and just remove the idea that's an option. But season 1 really taught for me something. And I think for me, it's really been lacking. And I have felt so lost over the last few weeks, particularly in content creation, because this piece of the puzzle really became the piece for me that I felt that I was making the most amount of impact on women's lives. And I think that this isn't talked about enough on social media these days, whether you're in social media or not, and you're a consumer, or whether you're a creator within that space. The hardest thing about short form videos, and Instagram has been my main channel for a really long time, is that it's just getting so much harder than it used to be to get your message across. And my message has always been to inspire, motivate, remind women of their limitless possibilities. But yet in the politics of social media these days, all the rules that you have to do, the 3-second hooks, making sure that it's edited a certain way, making sure that they're engaged, watching the amount of seconds that they're doing, if it's going to be viral, if it goes viral, is it going to the right audience? It's just so much that goes into it. And I'm not going to diminish for a second the power of social media and how it has got me to the place that I am today, nor am I going to stop creating within that space. But for me, I was losing who I want to be as a creator and what I want to create because I was getting so consumed with other people on social media. And when you're constantly studying trends, when you're looking at pages that are teaching you on how to do trends and how to do hooks and how to go viral, it kind of sucks the living fucking daylights out of it. Like, it's not fun to create anymore because you're kind of like, Instagram used to be for me this place where it was like a living channel where I kind of was vlogging my life. I was taking you guys behind the scenes. I was educating you guys. I was taking you on my journey. And then it just got so complicated. And then it just all focused on business, all focused about clients, all focused on like getting new eyes on your page. And I was like, nah, this is not what I'm here for. My greater driving why has and always will be to encourage, motivate, inspire women to just go after the things that they want to. And for me, the podcast, the longer form video has become like this sanctuary, this haven where I can be my most unfiltered version of self too, which I think that that's the other thing that I hate about Instagram. Instagram, you can get caught up into the wrong algorithm really quickly. And if it's the first thing that someone's seeing of you and it's a tiny fragment of such a bigger picture of things, it can really, really go one of two ways. It can either be great for your brand or it can be misinterpreted. And yeah, look, for me, it's been an absolute struggle. And I was saying to Ryan the other day, like I literally started getting really anxious to be creating on social media and creating on Instagram, not because I was worried about saying the wrong thing or people not interpreting my content right, but more so because I just didn't feel like I knew what to create anymore. And that sounds crazy because I am the most creative person and I've got so much to say, but it's almost this polarizing feeling of just being in a space that just feels so unaligned. So for anyone that is a creator at the moment and they're struggling, my big thing is to just find your roots again, whether that's taking a couple of days away, which I have done, and getting a perspective shift, or just remembering your why, remembering why am I in this space? What am I trying to provide? What am I trying to create? And shifting the narrative. So yes, that's my story. That's why we are back into the podcasting. And season 2, I wanted to come back with a bang. I really wanted to be everything that you guys loved of season 1, but also adding more. So for season 2, we are going to be having guests that are going to be coming on to the podcast as well, which I am so excited about. I've shot one episode with my beautiful friend. The reason why I have been delaying putting it off is because it's a hard edit and I didn't know what to do. Full transparency, it's hard to do 2 people edits. And it's a new skill and I kept on putting it on the back burner. So that's why that's not there. But I'm going to make a mission to bring incredible women onto the podcast, to be engaging with different women on this space so that you guys get to have deep and meaningful conversations. And I just want to be adding more. So I think for me in season 1, the things that I also learned is you guys like the real high stories, but you also like the real stories. So you like when I'm fully transparent about what's going on in my life and me going through my personal hards, or if I'm struggling with things. So I'm going to be trying to be more vulnerable with that as well with you guys. But you know, it's season 2. Like this is going to be our glory season. And I'm going to be the bestie chat with you guys right now. I don't know how many days to commit to. Like, do I go back for another 100 or do I just say like unbreakable, I go until I just can't stop? And that's something that I've really struggled with as well, because I'm like, do I dare to go into that again? Do I want to do this to myself? So season 2, you guys have to let me know. Should I go for the full 365 days? Should I do a whole year of podcasting? Am I delusional to think that? I mean, I made it like almost a third of it last time. Am I delusional? Like, you know, am I a little delusional to go that far? I don't know. You guys are going to have to help me, but we're back. And we're back into the consistency because this makes me feel like my best version of self. Now, enough yapping, enough me talking about the why that we're here today. For anyone that's new here, I promise you, I don't waffle that much at the start about the podcast. It's just a welcome back series. We're getting into the juicy stuff now. And I wanted to come back with a topic, which I think is a topic that is going to help a lot of women today. And one of the things that I am so deeply lent into is understanding women and understanding why women function the way that they do. And I work with hundreds and hundreds of women, right? I have spent over a decade working face-to-face with clients, working with people online, whether that's for another fitness brand or working for myself. Every single week, for context, for anyone that's new here, I do around 100 to 120 or like 180. It depends on how many we get for that week, check-ins. And during those check-ins with those clients, I do full voice memo talking to my clients. That's the type of service that my clients get. I go so deep into the psychology of the why a woman is performing the way that they do, where their barriers are, where to celebrate the fuck out of them, and where to really give them the kick up the butt. And one of the common factors is, and P.S., I know I'm fucking crazy. It takes me like 12 hours. I need like almost a full recovery day after the hangover of talking so much. I knew when my school teachers were telling me when I was younger that I needed to just quiet the yap, that this skill would come in handy. And it really has come in handy. I'll give you the red hot tip. They were completely wrong about that being not a superpower in life. But what I've learned over this time and what I keep on seeing is women's lack of self-belief and women's lack of belief that their goals are going to become a reality. And I think in the day and age that we're in at this moment, where people are so transfixed on talking about manifestation, visualization, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands, this concept, it's completely debilitating for so many women because they just don't believe that it could become a reality. And I think that self-belief and belief that your goals are going to becoming a reality is quite literally the key to absolutely everything. Whether that is a physical transformation, whether that is that you are working towards a financial one, a relationship, a house, whatever it's going to be, whatever you would like dare to dream about right now. If you do not believe that it's going to become a reality, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to become a reality. And what happens is people set goals and they set these ideas and they set like whatever their target's going to be. But because they don't so deep intrinsically believe that it's going to happen, they self-sabotage. And so self-sabotaging behavior can look like when it comes to nutrition, derailing really quickly. It can come to, not showing up for their workouts, mindlessly scrolling on social media at nighttime, not protecting their boundaries. Like it rears its head in many ugly ways. And for majority of women, it will either be one or many of those things or kind of a compound effect of it. But the reason that they actually start that self-sabotaging behavior is because they just deeply don't believe that their goals are going to become a reality. And you can have the perfect plan in front of you. You can have the most ultimate map of where you need to go from A to B and still be the type of woman that will self-sabotage yourself in the first week or the first 2 weeks because you don't believe that your goals are going to become a reality. Now, the hard part for many women that are listening to this podcast, and the hard part that I really discover with women, is that lack of self-belief and lack of worth is either so deeply ingrained from years and years of failures or perceived failures or people making you feel a certain way or things happening compounding to just further solidify over and over again that you're not worthy and deserving of those goals becoming reality. And so the tricky part is you need to actually be able to be in the position of when you're setting goals to detach from that reality. And that's fucking hard. Like it has taken you some seriously long years to get where you are right now. And most people expect that we can like snap our fingers and that we're just going to be able to change that. And so what I want for every woman to take from this podcast and to start planting the seeds, because I've got to tell you, you got to plant the seeds to grow the trees in life and you got to water them and you got to nurture them. But it's important you start planting the seeds to deeply understand yourself. Is that for you to break the cycle of where you're at the moment, you need to be building belief. And belief comes from collecting receipts of doing something different than what you would have done in the past. Now, my job is I like to think of myself almost as the receipt master at this point, because what I do with women is they do their check-ins and they might have an amazing week. They're fucking killing it. They're thriving it. The next week, something happens. They derail. They might blow out with food. They might skip a workout and they go into this loop of failure mentality. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough, and falling into that old place. My job is to show the receipts and say, hey, look, like you didn't do X, Y, and Z right, but like you did this, and this right. And last week, you also did it right. So like we focus on all the things that you did do right and we just keep on moving it forward. And that's not toxic positivity. Like there's a lot of like toxic positivity that goes around these days. That's not toxic positivity. That's hyperfixating on the things that actually count in moving the needle towards. And getting towards your goals is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be bang on all of the time. You're not going to get it right all of the time. Guarantee you're not going to get it right all of the time. And you're going to have moments where you're going to doubt it, but you have to be able to focus on all the things that you are instead of all the things that you are not. And when you recognize that your body starts to transform or your goals start to become a reality, you recognize that it's not from perfect moments, but it's just from the consistency game. And so all of those tiny little receipts that you gathered, whether it was at 1% one week, 100% in another week, whatever it was at whatever week, You understand that that's you proving to yourself that you're worthy and deserving of your goals becoming a reality. And the hard part for most women is they just don't stick in the game long enough. They have the bad week, they have the period, they have a shit friend, boyfriend dramas, the financial dramas, the kid dramas. They have a bad moment and they don't respond the way that highest version of themselves, this version that they're creating, this version they want to become, responds. And so they just assume that they're going to be the shit version. They're going to assume that they're going to be the lower self for the forever. But to get to that highest version of self, to get the belief, to get the irrational belief that your goals are going to become reality, you just need to stay in the game long enough and you just need to be consistent enough. So what I really want to pose to any person who is working for whatever goal you're working towards at the moment, I want to ask you the question. I want you to sit with it, whether you message me to have a yap about it, whether you're just thinking about yourself, is have I actually even stayed in it long enough to prove that I am this person? Or did I tap out before I even gave it a chance to push through? And most of you guys are going to say the answer of that I just didn't give it enough time. And when I think of results, when I think of clients' transformation, as I said, I work with a lot of women. Like, this is my thing in life. I will see that I work with women for 8 weeks. And in that 8 weeks, they might lose a kilo. Like they're coming to me for weight loss and they might lose a kilo. But they stay consistent, they build new habits, and they build their mindset for over that time. So even though weight loss was the main goal, they realized that consistency was the main part. And so the first part of their chapter, their hero's journey, was about understanding deeper of themselves and why they're self-sabotaging, but just staying in the game long enough. And then all of a sudden, in phase 2, when they're going into the next block, the weight is starting to come off, they're consistent with their training, they're hitting progressive overload, and then it just keeps on going from there. And so I really want to normalize when you're coming into working towards your goals, each and every woman is going to be having a different entry point. You're going to have a different start point, and that's okay. Don't compare your journey to anybody else. Don't compare any growth and human growth to anybody else's journey and process. I know on social media we see before and afters, but you're not putting it into all of the context, right? Like when I show myself like a 60-day transformation, I've been in the game a really long time. Like I have the fundamentals down pat. Like when I lock in, I lock the fuck in. I'm not going to compare myself to someone who's like completely different league against of what I am, or like at a different like entry level league. Like there's no point in me comparing. Like you've got to stay tunnel vision on your lane. So normalize that when you're working towards your goals, that growth is going to look different. It is always going to be linear. You're always moving forward on the line, but growth is going to look different, and start thinking about what that looks like for you and normalizing that it might not happen overnight. You just need to stay in the game. You just need to be collecting those receipts. And I feel like if you're a visual person, start collecting the receipts, like literally write it down, like have a pinboard in your living room, like start collecting it. Have a thing on your phone, like a notepad where you write down wins of the thing so you can start seeing the receipts like that. And when you visualize it and when you see it, if you don't have someone like me in your corner who's picking up the mirror and saying, hey, like we've actually come a long, long way. That's when you need to start being able to collecting it yourself. And that's where you need to be out celebrating those absolute wins and recognizing that the momentum's happening. And I guess for me, the biggest, most important part of this whole entire puzzle when we're building belief and building self-belief and self-worth is the delayed gratification piece. You have to understand working towards your goals takes fucking time. Like it takes a huge amount of time. And I know for me personally with building Feel Good Naked, my app, in the first like 18 months, I think we're going to be coming up to, wow, it must be coming up to almost 3 years. I got to double check on that. How exciting. But in the first few months of me creating that app, the first year and a half, 2 year, like only just until recently, I was so hung up on where I should be and how frustrated I was that I wasn't already at that place. And I was angry at myself that I'd tapped out early in terms of like, I had been on the pathway of coaching, having my own app, and I escaped because I was too young and I didn't know what I was doing. And I felt like I just had no idea. And I was frustrated that I didn't stay in the game long enough. So that first season, I spent a lot of time comparing myself to other people, thinking I was good enough. I was watching everybody around me in the coaching world, particularly people that I was friends with at the time, making millions of dollars with thousands of clients, having team, having all of these things. And it was debilitating. Like it was absolutely crushing my soul because I was like, Henrietta, you fucking know you're good enough. Like, you know, you've got like so many more skills than these bitches. And I know that because I've built the back end of apps. I've been at every single stage. The experience I have is actually fucked in terms of coaching. I have done face to face. I have owned a gym. I have worked face-to-face with thousands of clients before. I have worked in the world's biggest app from literally the bottom grade right up. I have built my app from scratch and built it to this level. When I tell you I'm one of the most qualified people in the room, I fucking know that with every fiber of my being, that I was at square one. I was at day one. And it's frustrating as hell. You're like, fuck, this is shit. I'm comparing it to them. I'm absolutely grinding. I'm like close to poverty at this point, and I'm fucking drowning in this shit. But what you got to do is you're allowed to feel all of those feels. I wish I didn't feel those feels and I could block it out. You're allowed to feel all of those feels, but what do you do to keep on moving forward? And that's when the follow the plan mentality came up for me. And I would just have to wake up every single day and I was like, I'm bleeding cash. I'm getting no clients. Follow the fucking plan, not the fucking mood. And I hated it. It was horrible. And like, luckily I had someone like my partner Ryan around who's just like, you got to stay in it. Like, Henny, like, stop being so hard on yourself. You're doing so many things. Like, I'm very fortunate that I had Ryan in my corner. Just keep on pushing away because he understands it because he's built from scratch before. And now I look back on where I'm going for this year. In February, I had just made my largest grossing month as a company in a year. So for proportion, I have 10x my company in a year, which is amazing. I'm changing women's lives. I'm changing women's lives like I never could have imagined. I have a assistant now. I have a full-time assistant that works with me, and I'm about to hire my first assistant coach with the vision of being able to build out a team in Gold Coast as well, and like have my own office and like the vision, right? And me back when I was starting this goal, like it's taken me time, and it's going to take me time to hit the next ceiling and the next goals too. But understand it takes time, and understand you're going to have a moment like when I had one the other day when I'm like, fuck, I built the body, like the company is coming together. I'm building this big, abundant life. And like younger me would have never imagined this. And so why not you? Why not you be the person that was broken and fucking overweight and like working for someone else and working for someone else? Why not you? Why not you have a day one? Just recognize it's going to take time. Recognize you're going to feel all of the feels, but just start collecting the receipts. And that was the thing that really saved me, the receipts. When I would get a new client, I would celebrate the fuck out of it. When I would do something for the app that was amazing and innovative and exciting, or I'd run a masterclass and I would build different things out, like celebrate the fuck out of it. And that's the shit that keeps the momentum going. The receipts. The receipts are everything. They're where we're at. Guys, I think I've yapped enough for the first episode, but I wanted to make sure you knew how excited I am. It is going to be our best season yet. I'm going to take you guys on the most in-depth highs and lows, as much as I possibly can in terms of everything I'm going through, as well as scaling a company, in terms of working with women, understanding women. I even have like a really exciting call this afternoon about what could be the future for Feel Good Naked. I can't say anything at this moment. However, anything is possible. And I want every single one of you guys to be daring to dream too. Guys, as always, so thank you for joining me on the podcast. Welcome to season 2, baby. Go out, be kind to other people, be even kinder to yourself, and make sure you fucking activate that full-blown baddie that I know you are. Villain season is on. And let's do this dance, shall we, honeys? I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm so out of practice. If you love the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you send me a DM. Send me a DM on my Instagram. I love to hear from you guys. Okay, now I can speak to you guys later. Bye. I didn't even know how much longer that was. She was yapparoony today.